In this video tutorial, I will show you how you can use PDO in PHP to connect to MySQL database and how to insert, update, select and delete data inside the table using PDO. So, stay with me. Hey, what's up guys? Senaid here from codingpassiveincome.com, the place where I help others to become a web developer much easier and faster than they will do it on their own. So, if that is something that interests you, consider subscribing. Now, you can ask yourself, why should we use PDO at all when there are MySQL functions in PHP? 12 years ago, when I started with web development, I was so excited to learn how to connect PHP and MySQL. And then when I started with learning, I have found that there are some MySQL functions in PHP and then there is PDO too. For me, it didn't make any sense to use PDO at all. So I have been using MySQL functions for a very long period of time. With more experiences, and as I have been working on bigger projects, I have found that using PDO in projects could be very beneficial. And for me, the real PDO benefits are security, which means usable prepared statements, usability, which means many helper functions to automate routine operations, and reusability, which means unified API to access a multitude of databases, from SQLite to Oracle and others. With that said, I want to tell you that you should know MySQL and PDO, and depending on a project, to use the one that is the best for that one project. Anyway, let me now show you how to use it in PHP. So now I'm here at my PHP store. I have created new project and also I have created an empty index PHP file. So before we start writing any code, we need some table, some database and some table. So I will just go to my PHP my admin, and I have already started my exam server, and if you didn't, please do it. So I will go to the new and type a new table, name let's say PDO tutorial, and I will say here UTF-8. This is my just preferred one. Create, and I'm going to create new table. Let's say we'll name it test, and number of columns could be 3. And I will just say here ID integer, and I will say auto increment. The next one I will say is name varchar, and let's specify 20, and let's say email varchar 50, and we'll say click on the save. So now we have a database PDO tutorial and we have a table test. So now I will just write PHP text. And the first thing that we need to do is to declare one variable that we will use as a connection. So I will say PDO equal new PDO and hit enter. And here I need to specify the driver, host, database name, username, password, etc. Since we are using MySQL database, the driver will be MySQL, but if we use any other, then we will change this. Host equal, I will say localhost, but if you are on some hosting, localhost should work, but on some cases it won't. So when you purchase your hosting, you will need to have informations how to connect to your server. So if you need to change the host, maybe it will be IP address or some URL, etc. But in most cases, if you leave it as localhost, it will just work. The next one is database name, and our database name is PDO tutorial, and that's it. Now we need to specify the username that is able to connect to this database, and since I'm on a local host and didn't change anything, my username is root and the password is an empty string. But if you are using your hosting, I'm sure you will never have username and password as a root and password, so make sure to change those. And now, before we proceed any further, I will just write one try and catch, just because I want to show you how you can catch any error for PDO. So I will say here PDO exception, and here we can say get message. Okay, so what this means is basically we are trying to execute this part of the code here, and if there is any error that happens inside PDO, this part here will execute and we will just get a message what's wrong. So if we test now, as you can see, I got nothing, which means that my code is successfully executed. But if I just now make a mistake and say that my username is root2, save it, test, I have got now a error message which says access denied for a user at localhost to database PDO tutorial, and that means that my username information are not correct. So I will just move it to the correct one, and that's it. So the first command that I'm going to show you how to insert data using PDO. So first thing that we need to do is declare one variable. I will name it statement equal, and now PDO prepare, and here we will just write the normal SQL query. So as you can see in PDO, we need to call always prepare statement, which will basically create like a template in the database, and later we will just use that template. So we can use it 1,000 times, and we will always use the same same template. So that means that our code will be a lot faster than if we use MySQL. But MySQL some advantage too. So the command is insert into, and now we need to specify the table name, which is test in our case, and we need to specify the column names. So I have name and email, and we need to specify the values. If we will use now the normal MySQL, we will write the data directly here. Let's say we have two variables, name equal Senaid and email equal hello at codingpassiveincome.com. We will just specify those variables here and it will work just fine. But in PDO it's a little bit different, and we need to do like this. This will just say, this just means that we will insert some data here later. And now there are many ways how you can now append the data to those question marks, but my preferred way is statement execute, and directly here I will just write my variables names. The reason why I prefer to use it this way is because here not only that I'm able to write variable, but I can write some string too. And if we use any other option in PDO like bind param, it is not possible for us to just write it the string. We always need to use the name, the variable name, because we are passing by references. And if we now try this, we don't have any error here. And if we go now to the test, we can see that our query is executed and the data has been inserted. this is the fast way, and I can show you how to do it on the other ways, but it's better for you to learn it this way because you will always code faster and it will be much easier for you to understand. The another command that I want to show you is how to update some data in table using PDO. So the approach is exactly the same. We will create variable statement, we will say PDO prepare, and here we will just write an SQL query. So we will say update test set, and now we are changing some, for example name. We will say like this, where ID equal, for example 1. I guess it's 1, yes it is. Where ID equal 1, and again we will just call statement execute, and here we will again specify the data that will be inserted here. And like I said, you can put the string directly, so I will just say it like this. And now if we make a test, go to test, as you can see the data has been inserted here. Okay, and now the new value is Senaid 1. It's completely the same. Now I want to show you how to delete something. So again, statement equal PDO prepare, and here we write again SQL query, which is delete from test where ID equal 1, and we can just execute this. Now if you go to test, it's deleted. And the last thing that I want to show you is how to select some data and how to get the data from a database. So let me just execute this code few times to have some data in our table. Okay. Okay. So now to get the data, we need to write statement again equal PDO prepare, and we'll say select name email from test. Okay, and now like always we need to do one while data equal statement fetch, and now we can just say echo data name data email, and we can test this. I have forget statement execute, and as you can see here we have listed all rows inside our table. So we can just here to specify to go to the new line, and as you can see here we have one row, another, etc. So guys, those are pretty basic things. So all you need to remember is how to make connection to your database using PDO, and that you always need to prepare statement, that you are using question mark to make a place where you will insert some data, and that you need to use statement execute just to append some data to the places where is question mark. So that's it. It's all the same. All you need to remember are those few things. Anyway, if you guys have any questions, please let me know in the comments below and I will be happy to answer it. And also, I will be happy if you can like this video and share it with your friends. Take care.